supplements in space.
Today, we visit the controversy planet and uncover what went wrong with Greg Doucette's Turkbuilder and the latest Jose Antonio-led hit piece, study on plant sterones and muscle growth. So sit down and strap in, because it's about to make a whole lot more sense. Thanks to Matt for the heads up on this topic. The actual study is linked on Mark Lobleiner's Tiger Fitness link in the description, but the most balanced take that I saw on this was from Coach Colton. This is a study from Jose Antonio where they attempt to get scientific results using a placebo control group and one group using one capsule of Greg Doucette's Turkbuilder per day for 4 weeks. Now, the study was designed to see if there were changes in body composition, strength, etc. Well, the study itself is in general not very comprehensive, not very long, not a lot of participants. If we set all that aside, there's one major flaw in the design and premise of this study. Ecdysterones, turkesterone, etc. came to popularity somewhat based on a study in rats showing that they had real measurable muscle growth when injected with a certain amount of ecdysterone. But the issue comes when we transfer the dose that was given to the rats per kilogram to what we're taking and absorbing from capsule form. And I'll explain it like this. In the study, the rats were given 5 milligrams of pure, real ecdysterone injected per kilogram. 5 milligrams per kilogram. Now you might think, well, that transfers over pretty easy. I'm about 100 kilograms. That must mean that I need to inject 500 milligrams a day. No, hold up. That's what I thought at first too. But then Yajit corrected me and sent me a link here, which is a basic breakdown on how to do animal to human dose conversions. It's not weight by weight as we might think. It's more to do with surface area and other factors. In this case, what that number becomes for people is 0.8 milligrams per kilogram. So that means that a 100 kilogram dude is going to need 80 milligrams in their system to replicate this rat study, theoretically. Now, I have injected 80 milligrams per day before, and in a slow release formula. In fact, I've injected up to 150, 200 milligrams a day, and I'm a believer. But are they getting anywhere near that from one capsule of Greg Doucette's Turkbuilder? Let's take a look. Here's the nutritional information for Greg Doucette's Turkbuilder. As you can see here, it has 10 milligrams of turkesterone, 10 milligrams of ecdysterones, and 4 milligrams of other various ecdysterones. So the grand total per capsule, at least the minimum they're going to quantify on here, is 24 milligrams, okay? Now remember, this study is testing for muscle growth and body composition change and this sort of thing. What they've focused on lately is a combination of that perhaps, but also more of the nootropic effects from some of the other aspects of the plant that they're getting their concentrate from. So that's why I stopped comparing myself, because it's not just plant sterones for plant sterones. They're kind of going a little bit of a different direction, but most viewers, most buyers of his supplements are going to buy it expecting muscle growth. So I see some validity in this study. So 24 milligrams of total plant sterones taken orally, which is very hard to absorb. I can show you right here, the oral bioavailability of ecdysterone, turkesterone, etc. is right around 0.8%, so less than 1%, okay? But Greg adds sodium caprate, a large amount, and he adds black pepper extract to the mix. Those are what's called permeation enhancers. They open up the mucosal lining enough to allow more of the target substance through. That said, it is still oral delivery. It's still a capsule. I'm guessing, because we can't really do this 100% scientifically, is because of the black pepper extract that doubles the oral bioavailability. That's fairly well established. The sodium caprate probably triples that or quadruples that again. And with the amount of sodium caprate that Greg uses, it's likely that they're getting somewhere, in my opinion, somewhere around 10% oral absorption from this, of the plant sterones. Now remember, there's only 24 milligrams of plant sterones per capsule. So what's 10% of 24? 2.4 milligrams of a plant sterone. And expecting steroid-like results in 4 weeks. Are you kidding me? I don't know if they don't understand the absorption issues with ecdysterone and turkesterone and stuff like that, or they just are playing it super safe. I don't understand. Because when you use a get pumped formula, the current formula, you're looking at 75 milligrams, give or take 5 or 10 milligrams, depending on your body and how you absorb things, absorbed sublingually per day if you use it 3 times a day. Because we're trying as close as we can to replicate those rat studies, to give real muscle growth, to get enough in the system. So that's the equivalent of 40 pills of Greg's per day. Let me say that again. 3 servings of Get Pumped is the equivalent of 40-ish pills of Greg Doucette's Turk Builder when it comes sterone to sterone in the system, okay? The other aspects I can't speak to. We have a little bit of differences in our formula because of the plant source. But I want to ask you this, logically. If there was a study out there that took 24 people and took half of them and gave them a sugar pill, and the other half, 2.4 milligrams per day of Anavar, would you take 2 milligrams of a steroid to do a cycle for 4 weeks and expect to have some kind of serious permanent change to your body composition? That's the problem with this study, is they're using the equivalent. I mean, all that's getting into the system, at best, in my opinion, is about 2 milligrams. And likely, it might even be less than that, okay? Maybe it's more, I don't know. But there are limits to what you can absorb orally with these plant-based products because they're just really tough to absorb. That's why we do sublingual with ours. So ours you put under the tongue. You can expect about 25 to 40% of that to absorb, somewhere in that vicinity, not 10%. And we've got a lot more sterones in the mix. Also keep in mind, we've got 90 servings per bottle, and our bottle costs 1/3 the amount. So please keep all that in mind. If you want to run your own personal experiment, trying plant sterones, and you don't want to inject them, and you don't want to do anything extreme, this is the next best thing. Try a sublingual version. Get as much as you can into your system every day, 3 times a day. Spread it through the day so you're not just doing a few hours and then nothing. But I would never encourage someone to expect results from 2 milligrams a day. So hope this was informative. Hope this made some sense. In order to get the long-term cumulative muscle-building benefits from a plant sterone, put in your system as much as possible so that it can do its work in the background along that IGF-1 estrogen receptor pathway. Better pumps, better endurance in the gym, better time in the bedroom, waking up with morning wood for the first time in a while. That's the kind of things you can expect in 4 weeks. But the muscle gains from these type of things are the same type of pathway that we're talking about when we're talking about like those mid-range peptides for growth hormone and stuff like that. It's cumulative and it's over time, and it's how it helps your system adapt to use new satellite stem cells and things like that. It's not the androgen receptor pathway. No Patreon vid/experiment this week, but next week we'll be back with a deep dive into epicatechin, and we'll also do an experiment over on Patreon where we make it into an injectable and test it out. Stay tuned for that. Hit like and subscribe, help us out, and if you're curious about anything, reach out to us. Check out ultimateformulations.com, gymvikingusa.com, or hit us up on Instagram.